In the criminal underworld, loyalties shift like desert sands. But blood? Blood is supposed to be forever. Until it isn't. Welcome back, crime drama enthusiasts. Episode 7 of MobLand, aptly titled The Crossroads, an episode that shatters everything we thought we knew about the Harrigan family's criminal empire. After the more methodical pace of Antwerp Blues, this episode explodes back with the ferocity of a cornered animal, as it doesn't just raise the stakes, it catapults them into uncharted territory by introducing international criminal powerhouses that make the Harrigans look like amateur pickpockets. Meanwhile, Tom Hardy's Harry embarks on what might be television's most desperate one-man rescue mission, racing against a merciless clock ticking toward an inevitable tragedy. The episode opens in the shadow of catastrophe. Harry arrives at the Antwerp warehouse too late. The raid has already happened. The scene hits like a gut punch, blood-spattered walls with a single crimson message: war. Brendan and Serafina Harrigan are gone, snatched by forces operating far beyond London's criminal ecosystem. Harry delivers the devastating news to Conrad, Kevin, and Maeve. Their children have been abducted by El Youfsi, the Moroccan gang controlling Antwerp's docks. Watch the brilliant camera work here. Notice how the director subtly keeps Maeve framed slightly apart from Conrad and Kevin. Like a visual premonition, this composition hints at the divisions that will soon fracture the family beyond repair. While the family processes this bombshell, we witness the episode's most shocking revelation. Maeve, who should be devastated, secretly calls Richie Stevenson. Their conversation exposes the rotting heart of the Harrigan family. Maeve herself orchestrated with Richie to have Serafina assassinated. It's like watching Lady Macbeth reimagined for the criminal underworld, her ambition eclipsing even family loyalty. But like a perfectly laid trap that catches its maker, her plan has spiraled catastrophically beyond her control. Richie, still consumed with vengeance over his murdered wife and son, has taken both Serafina and Brendan. When Maeve protests, Richie simply disconnects. A power move that demonstrates how completely she's miscalculated her position. "You know, Maeve, I used to respect you. You had power," Richie says with ice-cold precision. Jeff Bell delivers a masterful performance here, portraying Richie as a chess grandmaster who has anticipated Maeve's every move. He's transformed from hunted to hunter with surgical precision. This dynamic perfectly illustrates one of organized crime's oldest lessons: emotional vendettas cloud judgment. Maeve's hatred of Serafina blinded her so completely that she's endangered the son she desperately wanted to protect. In a parallel storyline, pulsing with paranoia worthy of a John le Carré novel, Conrad and Kevin conduct their own investigation. "Someone talked!" Conrad growls, his face carved with fury as they discuss how information about the Antwerp trip leaked. The tension crackles like live electricity as suspects materialize. The Harrigan household has become what one might call a viper's nest, where trust evaporates faster than whiskey in Death Valley. In a brilliantly crafted scene, Maeve attempts to redirect suspicion by claiming Richie texted her about the kidnapping. When Conrad demands to see this supposed text, her web of lies and manipulation begins to unravel like a cheap sweater. The micro-expression that flickers across Conrad's face speaks volumes. The blind trust in his wife is developing hairline fractures. Helen Mirren plays Maeve with the calculating precision of a master manipulator. Throughout the series, she's been orchestrating Conrad's decisions while simultaneously grooming Eddie for leadership. Her power has always derived from proximity and trust, a house of cards that begins collapsing spectacularly in this episode as Karma arrives to collect its debt. This episode belongs to Tom Hardy's Harry da Souza, whose performance as the loyal enforcer pushed beyond breaking point showcases why Hardy remains one of our most compelling actors. Hardy transforms into an action hero reminiscent of Jason Bourne, practical, determined, and unstoppable. we track Harry through Antwerp's grimy underworld as he hunts for the Harrigan siblings with methodical brutality. There's something of a blue-collar James Bond in these sequences. No fancy gadgets, just raw determination and violence applied with surgical precision. After brutally dismantling the Moroccan operation responsible for the raid, Harry uncovers a chilling development. Brendan and Serafina have been transferred to a Mexican cartel. This revelation expands MobLand's criminal universe exponentially. It's like watching local restaurant owners suddenly competing against a global fast food chain. The scale has shifted dramatically, making the Harrigans' operation seem provincial by comparison. The cartel is led by Jaime Lopez, whose connection to the Harrigans stems from a 30-year-old racial slur from Conrad. This historical grudge transforms what might have been business into blood vendetta. As Lopez tells Serafina when she attempts to negotiate, "Some debts can only be paid in blood," a line that crystallizes the episode's central theme. The past always returns with compound interest. The episode climaxes with one of the most disturbing sequences in recent television memory. Lopez arranges a live stream, forcing Conrad, Maeve, Kevin, and Richie to witness what unfolds. The staging deliberately evokes terrorist execution videos, a stark reminder that MobLand isn't playing by television's traditional rules. Serafina, ever the strategist, tries negotiating with Lopez, offering twice what Richie is paying plus $5 million and an apology. In most crime dramas, this might have worked, but MobLand subverts expectations brutally. Lopez isn't motivated by money. He wants revenge, served ice cold after 3 decades. What follows is television at its most unflinching. Tied to a chair and drenched in sweat, Brendan Harrigan pleads for his life in what becomes the episode's defining moment. Daniel Betts delivers a performance balanced perfectly between desperation and dignity. Similarly, Mandeep Dhillon as Serafina walks the tightrope between entitlement and vulnerability as both siblings face mortality stripped of their family's protection. Brendan is executed with horrific brutality while his family watches helplessly from their Cotswold estate. The director makes the powerful choice to focus not on the violence itself, but on the faces of those watching. Conrad's disbelief, Kevin's horror, and most tellingly, Maeve's realization that her machinations have resulted in her own son's death. As this nightmare unfolds in real time, Harry makes one final desperate gambit. He calls Donnie, who connects him with Kat McAllister, an American mob boss played with steely resolve by Janet McTeer. Their brief conversation crackles with unspoken history. These two clearly share a complicated past. "Harry, you owe me," Kat states plainly, establishing in 4 words a power dynamic that promises future complications. Harry's plea for help comes at a severe cost. He now owes a favor to someone who operates at an even higher level than the Harrigans, a dangerous promissory note in the criminal underworld. The scene introduces a tantalizing new power player, someone capable of making miracles happen when everyone else has run out of road. Who Kat is and her connection to Harry remains deliciously mysterious, serving as an enticing hook for future episodes. Kat contacts Lopez, who halts the operation, but the intervention comes tragically too late for Brendan. Serafina remains alive, though her fate hangs precariously in the balance. This sequence brilliantly illustrates the show's central irony. Harry, perpetually outside the Harrigan family circle, fights harder to save it than those within. He moves heaven and earth to rescue Conrad's children, while Maeve, the supposed matriarch, engineers events that destroy it from within. Brendan's brutal murder functions as MobLand's red wedding moment, a point of no return that fundamentally alters the show's trajectory. What makes this death particularly devastating is its direct connection to Maeve's betrayal. The mother who plotted to eliminate her stepdaughter has instead sacrificed her biological son, a twisted outcome worthy of Sophocles. This death will undoubtedly fracture the already fragile Harrigan family dynamic. Conrad's grief will inevitably transform into vengeful rage when, not if, he discovers Maeve's role in their son's death. Serafina, if rescued, will return to a family forever changed, and Harry, having failed despite his heroic efforts, must now navigate a landscape where he owes favors to dangerous new players. The introduction of international criminal organizations dramatically expands the show's scope. The Harrigans are no longer apex predators. They're middle management in a much larger ecosystem. Lopez and El Youfsi represent forces beyond the Harrigans' control, suggesting future episodes will explore how local crime families survive when swimming with global sharks. The Crossroads isn't just a pivotal episode, it's the fulcrum on which MobLand's entire first season balances. Through Brendan's shocking death, the introduction of international players, and deepening character arcs, the episode transforms what might have been a standard British crime drama into a global crime epic with Shakespearean ambitions. The episode's title takes on multiple meanings. The Harrigans stand at crossroads between their past and future, between local power and international irrelevance, and most significantly, between family loyalty and personal vendettas. There's unrest in the Harrigan ranks as everything unravels around them, like rats caught in a closing trap with diminishing escape routes. With a truly extraordinary cast, including Pierce Brosnan as Conrad, Helen Mirren as Maeve, and Tom Hardy delivering performances of remarkable intensity, MobLand continues establishing itself as some of the most compelling crime drama on television. While Hardy's Harry might hold everything together through sheer force of will, the heart of this show remains the dynamically dysfunctional family at its center. The fact they settle disputes with violence rather than conversation only makes their saga more captivating. As ancient wisdom warns, dig two graves when seeking revenge. Maeve's vendetta against Serafina has indeed resulted in a grave, just not the one she intended. Her alliance with Richie Stevenson against her husband has set a countdown ticking. It's only a matter of time before everyone turns against her. What did you think of this pivotal episode? Did Brendan's death shock you as much as it did me? And what do you predict will happen when Maeve's betrayal inevitably comes to light? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into MobLand and other premium drama series. Until next time, remember what this episode taught us all too well. In the criminal underworld, the most dangerous enemies are often hiding in plain sight.